Hi, this is Kathy at inkingpaperwithkat.com. Today's project is what I call the Crazy Twisted Box. It opens on both ends, which means that you've got a place to put a little gift, some chocolates or other types of treats for whoever the recipient is. You need an 8.5 by 10-inch piece of cardstock. Score at 1/2, 2.5, 7.5, and 9.5. Turn to the short side and score at 1/2, 2.5, 4.5, and 6.5. There's some additional scoring that needs to be done in the large rectangles that are in the center of your cardstock. You will be scoring on the diagonal. You'll need a steel ruler. You need to start in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll score down to the lower left-hand corner. Be as precise as you possibly can, because these folds are the ones that actually will create the twist in the box, and you want a nice crisp fold. I was going over them a couple of times because you're not using a scoring board and you don't have that indentation that you're working into. It does require quite a bit of pressure, but if you're using a good quality cardstock, you should be fine. This cardstock is by Stampin' Up. It's Mossy Meadow. The tool I'm using has two tips, one small, one medium. The smaller one works a little bit better, plus it lets you get a little bit more accuracy in your score lines. That's all of the scoring done, and now we can move on to preparing our DSP. I've already cut one of the pieces, and I'm going to show you how to cut it if you're not sure. If you put the top right corner right on the groove of your paper cutter and the bottom left corner of the groove on your paper cutter, you have it placed at the perfect diagonal to get it cut in half. And there you go. You have your pieces. So let's adhere them. You could use liquid adhesive, you could use sticky strip, fast fuse, or you can get yourself stuck to the paper. I think as long as you put enough on, pretty much anything is going to work. It's really important to get these little tips covered. So let's adhere this. This is cut so that there is a slight border going around it, so you want to be aware of that and try to line it up as evenly as you can. Not bad for trying to hurry through. Hopefully you're not getting my head right in the middle of this video. If you are, I apologize. Okay, now that we have the DSP on, we need to do our cutting. Your cutting should look like this when you're all done. So this is the side with the long skinny strip. So we need to remove this bottom portion. I do like to do my cutting before I do my folding and burnishing. I think it's easier for me, and I seem to do a better job with my cutting. Of course, that could be my imagination. Hang on to these pieces. They're great for doing little punches. All right, this piece, we need to remove the small strip. And on this end piece, we need to remove the small strip. On the top, we need to remove the small strip. We need to remove this entire section. On this one, we're going to remove the small strip. And here we remove the small strip on the side, not on the top. Now we need to cut up these score lines that are left, and also take a wedge out so that your box closes nicely. On the other side, we also need to go up those score lines. And of course, take out a little wedge. And that is all of our cutting done. Okay, now we're going to fold and burnish. We are going to fold the straight lines first. Make sure you burnish well. You want your box to hold its shape when you're all done. All right, flip it back over, and for the diagonals, they are going to fold in the opposite direction. They become valley folds. They fold in on themselves. Burnish them really well. All right, now we are ready to assemble our box. So we're going to put sticky strip along that seam and want it right up against that score line. We want this to hold really well. And then I like to take a notch out of each of the ends of this. I like doing it after I put my tape on, that way I've got tape right to the end. Peel off your backing. Fold it over, line it up, press it down. You have a rectangular box with two ends that open. You're going to lay your box down. You're going to gently push in on the corners and collapse it. And you should have something that looks like an off-kilter X. To open your box and get the twist, just stick your fingers in the ends and spread them out, twist, and there you go. You've got your box. So now you fold down your flaps and close it up. Round the corners on your flap. It is going to close much better if you do. Should have done that earlier. Around these as well. And there you go. You've got your box. So now what we want to do is to decorate. And for this one, I am going to do a sentiment and some little flowers on the top. So I think I will start with stamping my sentiment. I'm using the Oh What Fun stamp set from Stampin' Up! And Mossy Meadow ink. The saying is Merry Wishes. I am going to punch that out with the window punch. This is also a Stampin' Up! Product. Line it up. And there you go. I'm going to mount that on a small scallop, and I'm using a piece of the scrap paper that we had left. And I'm just going to stick some dimensionals on the back of this. Full dimensionals don't fit very well on the back of this particular punch, so I just clip off some of the sides, plus that way nothing goes to waste. Just center that on my scallop. Dimensional on the back. And we'll find the front of our box. There we go. And that small scallop just fits perfectly on that bottom. Then I think I will add a few flowers to this. I think I'll do some petite petals. And we'll do some sponging with the mossy meadow. And we'll go ahead and give those some dimension just by smooshing down in the center of the flower. And we'll put a little bit of bling. Since this is going to be a Christmas package, you need a little bit of bling right in the middle. Okay. I think we'll just take some little glue dots and on the top. Well, that one definitely did not want to. There we go. Pull them up a little bit. And there we have it. Our Merry Wishes box.